foursomes! Hello! Welcome to Fluffy Fridays! Oh my goodness! I'm so happy to see all of you! Welcome, welcome! Thank you all so much for the support! Thank you so much! So we're gonna just take it fluff and easy today. We're not gonna do anything too intense today. I've had a very busy week, and I haven't necessarily been feeling the best, but we're just gonna have a fun time for a little while. We're just gonna chat, just gonna relax. I don't know what else we're gonna do. I'll just have to see how I feel, but yeah. I did want to kind of talk about some stuff for a little bit, but I want to first see how everybody is doing today. I want you all to tell me about your week. Tell me. Also, please tell me if anything about the volume or anything like that needs to be changed, please. Oh, going to the dentist, Wolf. That's kind of rough. I mean, well, going to the dentist is good, though, because then your teeth get to stay nice and clean and sharp, like this. Especially if you eat a lot of sweets like me, you definitely need to take care of your teeth. I've been doing okay. I've had a lot of work to do this week. I've had a lot of things, and my body is kind of having issues this week, but it's kind of like normal feminine issues. But anyways, oh my goodness, you bought a PS5? Wow, that's amazing. Hello, Atlas. Welcome. I'm glad you have a day off today. I hope I can make it extra fluffy. I have a PS4. I don't play it very much, though. I play a lot more games and stuff on Steam because it's a little more, accessible, and I don't know, I feel like to play with stuff on my PS4, there's a lot of stuff I have to do.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome. Good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well today. Redeemed headpats. Let's go. Gib headpats. Gib. Oh, we gotta move the headpats down. Oh my goodness. I gotta move myself up. Hold on. Okay, is that better? I hope the headpats are reaching me now. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I had to make myself a little big to get the headpats. Let's go. Anyways, I guess that'll work for now. I suppose I could have just moved the headphones down too, but okay. I guess it works for now. I've been doing okay. I've been having an interesting week. Any plans to play Mortal Kombat? Yes. I don't know if that will be today though. It might be like someday this weekend. But yes, definitely we're gonna be playing Mortal Kombat soon. Cause we just got into a new area. And we're getting pretty far along in that game, and yeah, I have had some help in some parts of that game, because without help I would not have made it past some of those obstacles, so I hope that still kind of counts. I think it should count. That's just what I think. I think that should count anyways. Even if you do need a little help, that should count. Because, you know what? Unpopular opinion incoming. Games should be fun. They should not be stress-inducing. Anyways, that's just me. I don't think games should be stress-inducing. I don't think that games should determine your self-worth or whatever either. I think you can be bad at games just like I'm kind of bad at games, and that should not mean that you're not a good person or a good VTuber. There, I said it. I think you should be able to be a good VTuber no matter how good or not you are at games. Welcome, welcome! All you blossoms and wagamuffins are so cute. You bring a smile to my face every time I get to see you all in my chat. I play a lot of hard games, but I like to challenge myself. Games like Dark Souls can be stressful at times, but it's so rewarding. When you beat the bosses and you feel really good about yourself. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, definitely. I mean, I like to challenge myself a little bit too, but you know, I just feel like it needs to be said because I feel like there are a lot of VTubers who are out there and they're like, oh, I'm not good at games, like, I'm not gonna be a good VTuber, and I'm like, I wish there wasn't that, what's the word? I wish there wasn't that stress or that social, pressure. I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like there's a lot of heckin' pressure for a lot of people to be like good at games and stuff, and I'm just not gonna be good at games. And I have friends who have different disabilities than me who are like good at games, and that's cool, and that's chill, and that's amazing. But I feel like I need to say that you don't have to be amazed at video games. You don't have to be like the best gamer that ever was to be a good streamer. At least I don't feel like you should have to be. I know that a lot of like VTubers who are good at games, yeah, they certainly get a lot more of a following and stuff. And so yeah, that is like an element that a lot of people do watch VTubers who are like good at games. But I feel like there's room in the world for a bunch of different kind of VTubers. I feel like there should be. I like it when the streamer doesn't care if they're good or not, especially when they know they're bad, but they can make the video funny and make people laugh. That's what I try to do, honestly. Also, welcome Zombie. That's what I try to do, honestly. I try to make it funny when I know I'm like not super good at the game. I try to make it funny. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think it's important to enjoy the game. Because if you're enjoying it, then your audience is going to enjoy it. And that's really the most important thing, in my opinion, is that your audience enjoys along with you. It's just, I've had some interesting experiences, and so has my VTuber mama, and like a bunch of people that I know have had some really interesting experiences where people, come into the chat and are like, hey, you need to play the game this way or you suck. And I'm just like, excuse you. It's like, why is that really your place to come into somebody's chat and tell them that? Like, I'm sorry, but what the fuck is the matter with you? If you're gonna come into somebody's chat and be like that, you seriously have too much free time. I don't understand this. And I also don't understand those people who will write other VTubers on Twitter and be like, yo, you should quit VTubing because you don't have followers and you don't have a good voice and I don't get it. Luckily, I haven't ever gotten one of those messages, but if I ever get one day, I'm gonna definitely share it. Also, thank you for gifting that sub. Thank you. I'm sure there would be a lot of people who would be very, very upset if I got a message like that, And I wouldn't just share it because, drama, I would just share it for awareness and be like, look, this is the kind of crap, that somebody wasted their time sending me. But thankfully I haven't gotten one of those yet, but I'm sure at some point somebody will waste their fluffing time and send me a message like that. I just hope it's not anytime soon. But even if it does happen, I'm heckin' prepared. Oh my goodness, what the fluff? What the fluff is the matter with people? I don't understand this. Also, thank you, Barry. Thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. No. That is so heckin' rude. That is so rude. What the heck? What is the matter with people? That makes me so angry. What is the matter with people? Anyways, thank you so much for your support, Mary. Thank you. And thank you to everyone else who tunes into me on a weekendly basis. Thank you. If weekendly is a word, but whatever. We're gonna roll with it. It's fine. Anyways, but I mean, honestly, if you have superiority complexes to the point that you're literally gonna go into someone else's stream or someone else's live broadcast, whatever, and you're gonna tell them something mean, I don't hecking understand. Like, you need to do some work on yourself at that point. Like, no amount of, like, being good at a game is gonna fix what's, like, broken in you at that point. I mean, to me, there are more valuable qualities than just being heckin' good at a game. I think it's much more valuable to be a kind person, a generous person, a passionate person, someone who will work towards goals, someone who will work toward their future, all that good stuff. I think I already know what I'm gonna do for my raid message tonight or this afternoon. It's just gonna be fluffy rant raid. I already know that's what it's gonna be because I just feel like I'm in the middle of a fluffy rant right now. Just going on about all these various things. As a way of making fun of them, the sheer fact that they felt they are so good at comedy racing games to talk down to someone is extremely ridiculous. I agree. As far as I'm concerned, being a good streamer is all about personality. Being good at games is a poor substitute for personality. Exactly. In my opinion. In my opinion. Yes. That is exactly what we're gonna do for the raid message. I am copying that right now, and I'm saving that. I'm saving that for when we're ready to heckin' go. And let's go ahead and get some headbats to chat. Let's go. It's okay. It's okay, no worries. I love that heckin' raid message. Let's go. I'm gonna copy it. Don't worry, we're not getting ready to raid yet. We're gonna be a while, but I just thought I would mention that while I was thinking about it, because I know that sometimes I forget what I was thinking about. Fluffy rant raid, let's go. Yes, that will be what we do when we're ready. People just hate on things that are popular. It's sad, but that's how society is. Luckily, some people can deal with it very well, but others can't. It can be tough for smaller streamers because people will call them emotional or say they're immature. But I think ignoring those people are the best solution. Don't ever give them the time of day. Exactly. Okay, let's summon that Shimobi in here with us. Come on, babies. Come on, babies. Babies. Come here. Okay, there they are. Hi, babies. Hi, sweetness. Yeah, so, that's why it's pretty much like people are just they're gonna do and say things sometimes that are very unfluffy, and very unnecessary. Yes, yay, dance time,
that's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Yes. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that rant I was on just now, but people are gonna say some very unfluffy and very unnecessary things, and it's better to just ignore. And we got headpads for the Shimo babies. Okay, let's do it. There you go, babies. There you go, babies. Yes, there's the headpads for the babies. Yes. Now we got all the headpads going. Is there any game or type of video that is out of your comfort zone that you'd like to make or play? Oh, keep the Shimobe headbats going. Let's go. More helper headbats. Yes. Keep that going for a while. Headbats for everyone. Media journalist. An article about why the popular character Rebecca from Edge Runner is problematic. I feel like the person who wrote it had one hand on the keyboard and was patting their back with the other. Oh, wow. Well, to answer your question from earlier, a game or video type that would be out of my comfort zone. Well, as far as games go, I feel like on a regular basis, I end up playing games that for me are already like kinda out of my comfort zone. I feel like even Okami, until I got used to it, was kinda out of my comfort zone because there's like a lot of physical demands on that game. And I feel like a game like Rabbi that I've played a little bit of. Oh my goodness. I think that's like becoming a blossom. You rock. I think that's already kind of a challenge. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I think those are examples for me of games that I already find to be a challenge, or like even me playing some of Tunic was like a challenge, and that's kind of the reason why I haven't picked that one. Pick that one up. Are we gonna head pat the Shimobe into oblivion? Yes. I'm gonna move it so that we don't squish his poor little head with too many head pats. Yes. Yes, the JoJo headpats of doom. And we're gonna keep my headpats going, it looks like. Yay! More headpats! Oh my goodness. Okay. I guess if I had to say, like, one game that I might really want to attempt to play sometime, like that I would really like to play sometime, just to see what it's like, is that game Stray. But if I did play it, and if I did stream it, it would be literally for me to just see how far I get in the game before I'm just like, no. Because I've heard there's some parts in a game like that that would be like super difficult. I'm doing very well. How are you doing? I don't know why, but my chat seems to want to redeem all the headbats today. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Platforming is automatic. Okay, so basically, as long as I get myself pointed toward the platform, does that mean that the little cat sprite or the cat thing like jumps automatically? If you're like pointed in the right direction, or do you like literally have to push a button to jump? The button will appear and you just press it. Okay, so kind of like those games with like timed events or whatever, where you trigger them. Yes, I will need a cooldown on the headpats. It's fine. I'll let it be the way it is. This time around. Yeah, but I will need to cool it down. Maybe I can even get in there and put a cooldown. I'm sorry, chat. I'm gonna have to put a cooldown.
What the fuck say?
Oh! That's what this fox says, and you can't change my mind. Okay, I'm gonna have to put a cooldown on that. Give me a minute. I are slow sometimes. Okay. Yay! Okay, I'm almost done fiddling around with this. Hold on. No, wrong button. Heck. Okay. Okay. The last one I gotta edit. Where the heck is it? Okay, there it is. Okay, we should be good now. If I'm missing anything in chat, I will answer it in just a second. Yes, I did enter a contest to get one of those dance emotes made. I think that would be amazing if I ended up winning one of the slots to get that. I think that would be amazing. Cause then I can have a little dance emote. Dance. It'd be great. And even if I don't win one, I could get one commissioned. I'll be honest, my gaming YouTube videos are pretty much all raw footage. It's almost like live streaming them. People get to see all my mistakes. I just feel like it makes me more relatable. Absolutely! I mean, the thing is, nobody is hacking perfect. And those people who can just speedrun through games and do zoomies, you have to realize that they have been practicing for fluffing hours to get that good. So, I think the reality is a lot of people like make mistakes, and a lot of people take more than one try to do something in a game, and I definitely am one of those people. If you've watched my streams, you know that I hardly ever get things on the first try. But you also know I'm very stubborn, and I'm very persistent. Hello, Retro Button, welcome. Better to show the raw footage instead of editing sometimes. Yeah, I agree. And I know it can be very frustrating for like people that sit there and watch and be like, oh my goodness, why can't you get that already? And it's like, listen, like especially when you're streaming a hacking game, right? It can be very stressful because you have people watching you, like live, a lot of the time when people are playing games, they're live, and that can be very stressful. Even having one person like watch you while you're trying to play a game, you know? And you know, streaming in itself is work in a way. I mean, there's a level of like, you know, you gotta be able to have like your energy up and sort of your willingness to interact with people. And I think there are a lot of times that people just don't understand how much work it actually is to stream. And be in that space of like being social and kind of doing a game at the same time. And I agree, there's like a big difference between watching a game and like seeing what to do and being in the middle of playing a game and being able to know what to do, because I've been in that place. I like the background music. I don't necessarily see it as sad. I just kind of see it as like soothing. Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, I think that's why I also want to be able to play some games on stream, even though I'm dealing with like a couple different like disabilities and stuff. It's like I want people to chill the heck out. I want them to be like, yo, you know, just like let the person play the game. Yeah, they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna have moments where they're like, I don't know what to do. You know, I had that during my last stream when I was doing some Henry Stickmin, where I was like, wait, where am I supposed to go to like do this other story element? And it took me like 5 minutes to like figure it out, and it shouldn't have taken that long, but for some reason my brain was like, not working right now, and sometimes I have that happen on stream, like I just do, you know? And there's nothing I can do about it. Sometimes I'll even be thinking of like a different word, and I'll say like the wrong word, you know? And it's like, I don't heckin' know. Sometimes my brain just goes, yeet, and it does whatever it wants to do. When I play games, the focus on mechanics is hard, and it's difficult to absorb all the information. I'm surprised that you say that. That it reminds you of that game. I've heard a lot about it, and I actually have a friend of mine who has been doing a deep read of it for like a long time. Exactly right, Raven. And, you know, we may have to do it differently, and we may not always do it as gracefully, but we should be given the opportunity to do something with our lives and not have it be treated like a joke, you know? I've heard that visual novel is really good. And I've even gotten to see a little bit of it, so I can totally understand, like, why people like that. And I honestly wish there were more visual novels that had to do with, like, people with disabilities that were actually well done. To the level that I've heard Kato Shoujo is. And luckily, like, I know some people who are really passionate about that stuff, so maybe at some point in the future we'll get a whole lot more visual novels with people with disabilities. I think that would be amazing. I want to make sure I'm not losing anything in chat because there was a lot of comments. And it's true, though. Like, everybody that, like, speedrun a game, the reality is they make it look so heckin' easy, right? They make it look like it's almost nothing, but what a lot of people don't see is, like, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours sometimes that it takes to get the game down to, like, heckin' body memory or something, you know? You have to play one game for a super long time to know it like that. I don't know. Again, that's, like, really weird, because sometimes, like, things with YouTube and whatever, like, sometimes they'll give you a copyright claim, sometimes they won't. And even Twitch is kind of twitchy like that too, you know? Like, for some games, they won't even bother, but then, like, this game I started playing recently, Child of Light, it's really heckin' weird. Like, they silenced a part of the video because of one of the songs. Like, I think it was during a battle section or something. And I was just like, okay, so you silenced part of my video, part of my stream, but not all of it. So it's very strange. But I don't know, maybe it has something to do with, like, DMCA or whatever the heck that is called. It is such a good game. I haven't played very much of it. I've only done one stream so far, but I really like it. I like the art style. The combat system is interesting. I'm still kind of learning. So I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of different games right now, so I'm also hoping to complete some of those before the end of the year, because I think that'd be cool. I started playing some Child of Light, I started playing some Neptunia RPG, and I've done a couple episodes of that one. I started playing a little bit of Freedom Planet, and I'm in the middle of Okami. I'm actually probably past the middle now in that game. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, it was only really when I became, like, a VTuber that I started playing a lot of games. Like, before I became a VTuber, I wasn't really doing many games because I was just kind of the opinion, well, they're not very accessible, and who knows how many I'm gonna be able to play, you know? So I've been really pleasantly surprised that I've even been able to play as many games as I've been able to play. It's like a turn-based RPG, I think. So thank you, Tozoto, for pointing that out. So anyways, but either way, I'm just glad I can bring people my fluffiness, and that I can bring people something positive and amazing, and that I can brighten their day in some way, even if I am just a streamer. And I will do the hydrate redeem I got a while back. I will do it right now. Thank you. So I've started a lot of games. Oh yeah, and I played some Ravi Ravi, which is kind of a fun game. It's really heckin' difficult for me though, just because it's so much hacking button mashing. Welcome, Bird. Welcome. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for gifting the sub. I know I really didn't do anything special for like September, but I really appreciate everybody like supporting the channel and supporting the community. Thank you so much. So yeah, I've started like a heck ton of games, so I'm hoping to at least finish a few of them before the end of the year. Getting on my Twitch is my serotonin. I have ADHD and I love streamers that are funny and positive. Well, that's amazing. I hope I can at least be comfy and someplace chill for people to hang out. I know that I may not be for everybody, but I hope that for the people who discover me and like hanging out, I hope that I'm able to give you something positive and fluffy to take with you. So I'm pretty sure we will be able to finish Okami. We're definitely going to be able to finish Stickman. We're going to be able to finish that one. And I'm trying to think of some of the other games that I started that I think maybe I'll be able to finish by the end of the year, or that I want to finish. Definitely like Freedom Planet, because I think isn't like the sequel supposed to come out, or might already be out. On Cult of the Lamb, I've seen a lot of people playing that. I'm not like against the idea. I mean, I don't think I've ever really played a game like Cult of the Lamb. I don't really know if it would be like my usual vibe, but from what I've seen, it's like cute and kind of creepy. So creepy. Anyways, I do have some things planned for Spooky Month, for some games that I'm gonna play during that month. I have a couple ideas. So I might add Cult of the Lamb to the list. Create called Hack and Slash Roguelite Town Community Management. I don't know. It might be my thing. Hecking demon summoning? What the fluff? I don't know. That might be more a thing for my VTuber mama. That might be more her thing. Because she's more of the mage. And she she does serve at like a temple to a goddess or something. She goes on a lot about it on her streams, but anyways, Sleepy Spooky Sakura Month, yes. Very spooky and sweet. So I do have a couple games in mind for that month. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll at least be able to finish like Freedom Planet and Okami. I know. Yeah, I might put a poll up on the Bluebird and be like, hey Blossoms, you want me to play Cult of the Lamb? But then I might just rename it to like Cult of the Fluffiness. Cult of the Kitsune Princess, let's go. And build Fluff Nation. And rule the world with positive vibes and fluffy tails. I don't know. I have some friends that have really been playing that a lot lately though. Like a lot. So it must be a good game. I can tell you right now, if I started playing it, there would be a lot of angry Kitsune Princess noises. I can tell you right now, there would be a lot of screaming. You should. I mean, October is the one month where you can legitimately get away with doing like more atmospheric kind of games. And especially with you being a zombie, heck yeah, go for it. October is like your month. There you go, horror movie clips, that would be amazing. And see, that's what I want to encourage people to do when it comes to VTubing, is like, do what you like to do. Don't worry about like doing things that other people do because it's popular. Do what you like to do first. Do what's comfy for you first. You will build your audience that way. Because if you feel like you have to do something like way outside what you're comfortable with and start being a person that you're not to gain an audience, I think that's really a lot more trouble than it's worth, you know? And I don't think that you can really be a streamer if you're not comfortable. Corpse Party may be too unfluffy for the stream also. TOS, yes. Corpse Party would definitely not be something that I'm gonna play because I don't really like that kind of spooky. It may be the slow route, but it builds the best communities, yes, because it builds a community of people who actually want to be there instead of people who are only there when you're being like, you know, a certain kind of way. I mean, for those streamers who can, you know, just do all kinds of content and have like this really kind of up their energy, like that's great. If that, oh my goodness, what is happening? Hidden Blade, thank you so much for gifting subs. Thank you so much. Everyone who just got gifted a sub, please make sure to thank them. I admire people who as streamers can go and like have this really like high energy and go and like do all this stuff, and you know, that's fine. But like that's never gonna be my energy. I'm like perfectly fine in the heckin' slow lane, just being fluffy and having a good time. And I don't know. I'm of the opinion that I would rather have slow, predictable growth. It's kind of why I call my community my Sakura tree and my blossoms, because I want us to grow together legitimately. I want us to grow together slowly and be something that lasts in the community. There are plenty of people who get a lot of followers really fast on Twitch and on Twitter, doing all these things, going all these heckin' places, doing all these things. And I see so many people like worried about the numbers. And I'm like, well, but isn't it better to have like honest growth where like people are there for you and they're there for you no matter what you do, instead of like chasing the algorithm or chasing like these fads and chasing all this stuff? I don't know, that might be not what everybody agrees with, but I just feel like, you know, for me that's kind of why I came up with this like visualization of my community as like the Sakura tree, right? Because it grows over a long time. And it's something that when it grows to maturity continues to give out beauty and inspiration for a long time. And that's kind of what I want to be able to do, is do something. It's going to be hard work, but I want to be able to do something that actually stays around for a while. Not just goes, oh, Sakura was here, and now she went away. And, you know, because I think that would suck. I think there are just way too many examples of like VTubers who are here and then, you know, they're gone and you're like, what the heck? What? Where did they heckin' go? Like, what happened? You know, and I understand that some people graduate, some people transform and move on to being something else, and that's cool. You know, if that's what they want to do, I mean, they have the power to do that. But for me, it's very important that I stay consistent and that I stay true to me and that I continue to grow a community of people who actually care for what I'm here for, and what I hope to be able to do with my community, which is give some positive and fluffy disability representation. To say, yeah, just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean that the wheelchair can't be cute, that it can't be cool. Yeah, I'm in one in real life. I have to use one in real life, and I use one here. But I like that it gets to be a part of my design. It gets to be a part of who I am, and I'd like to think that maybe I inspired a lot of the other VTubers now. who are also showing their wheelchairs. I would like to think that maybe in some small way I inspired them. Get some hot rod flames on that chair, yes. You know, I've been thinking about like getting some things sometime where like I can put some more decorations on my chair or have like alternate chair designs. That would be kind of cool sometime. But the way my model is drawn, my chair and me are drawn together, literally. So I don't know how easy or not it would be to like add some different details, but I think that'd be cool. There's a reason why there's a whole market for methods to slow down. Sometimes rapid change can mess someone up. Yeah, and I think not having the opportunity to relax is like really... It can be really hard on the body and mind, you know, to move so fast. And I know that a lot of like the games and stuff that I play and some of the stuff that I'm reading for manga, like some people are like, oh yeah, I read that or I played that a long time ago. And I'm just like, well, I'm getting to it now. I'm getting to experience it now. And I don't feel like that should be a bad thing. I feel like it's important that some people like look at everything like that's out there and well, I mean, maybe not everything, but you know what I mean. I feel like it's important that you have people who go and look at some older stuff just to be like, yeah, this is still good too. Yeah, it may have been made like 10 years ago or like 15 years ago or whatever, but it's still cool. And I think it's like really important to just like not always have to be trending, you know? I mean, sure, it's nice for visibility, it's nice for numbers, it's nice for growth. But I've watched a lot of my friends do too much of that, and then they're like, I don't even know who I am. Like, I don't even know what I'm comfortable with anymore because I've spent so long trying to chase something. And I have to tell them, like, well, how about don't do that? How about do what you like and see where that goes? How about do what you're comfortable with first? And I also have plenty of friends who become like pretty popular streamers just doing things like just chatting or ASMR. Like one of my friends, Mia's, she has gotten to be pretty successful just doing ASMR, among other things. She is a really talented voice actor, and so that is part of what she does too. But, you know, it's just proof that there are lots of other ways that you can gain an audience as a streamer. And then I have some friends who do variety stream, so they do a lot of different kinds of things on stream. And I have some friends who play like 1 or 2 games exclusively, and that's fine too. Because what's more important is just doing like what you're really passionate about, or like what is really comfy for you, because it just comes down to like what kind of thing do you enjoy doing regularly enough to stream it. And I have no hecking idea where I was going with that. I'm sure there was like a bigger point that I was going for, but I think I lost track. And yeah, so I think I just wanted to be able to talk about that stuff because I think it's just important to talk about it, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. Because I've just seen a lot of posts from the people I follow on Twitter and some of my friends, and I've just been like, it makes me think about a lot, and it makes me want to say a lot, but I don't always want to say a lot on Twitter because I feel like sometimes people are not, they're not patient enough sometimes on Twitter. They like read too quickly, or they like misread something. So, I don't know. I just thought I would talk about this on a stream. Saku rants are comfy. That's so amazing. I'm glad that even when I rant, I'm comfy. And yeah, I guess I also kind of did want to just talk about this whole thing about being an adopted VTuber. In other words, moving on from being originally someone else's VTuber and then getting adopted. I don't know how many of you know this, but I was actually adopted. My VTuber mama actually adopted me.
Guided meditation video when you're
What the fluff?
But now,
No
taking your
commercials.
outdoors.
Heck off.
Mindfulness offline.
No. Anyways, hecking commercials. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna do this. I hope I don't get slapped with this. Okay, but my VTuber mama actually adopted me, and so due to her, I've had a second life, and I do kind of want to talk about that because I've recently had some experiences where I've been in groups of people and they've been like, "Hey, Sakura, don't I know you?" And I'm like, well, you maybe do and you maybe don't, because before I got adopted, I did exist as someone else. Let's put it that way. And so under this someone else, they were doing some things that my adoptive mama and actually my lore mama was not comfortable with. So when the situation happened where I had to be rehomed, my adoptive VTuber mama took the opportunity to make sure that I was adopted, and so that I had a second life, essentially. And it kind of makes me uncomfortable to talk about because I know that there are some people in my chat who might know what I'm referencing, who might still be following me from the time before I got adopted. And so I don't always like to talk about it very much because I have done my best to sort of move on and create my own legacy. But the reason that I want to talk about it here is because I had to basically be involved in a conversation in which I had to explain I am not the same person who looked like me from before. I am a different person who took on that legacy. And I have worked very hard to create my own legacy and create my own beingness. free of what was before, because to me, there were lots of questionable things going on. And some of that questionable stuff came up. And I was like, hey, listen, that was not me. That is not me. That is not who I am. That is not the kind of stuff I do. And that is one of the reasons that in this case, I'm glad that I found a new home. Because I'm having to meet some of these people who knew me in my past life. And I'm having to say to them, it's good to meet you. I hope we can get to know each other again. And so I'm in a very interesting situation of having to, show that I'm a different person, but, in a good way. I hope in a good way. Because a lot of the things that were going on, in my opinion, were not things that should have been going on. Really makes you wonder how many secondhand VTubers are out there and how they're faring compared to their origin. Well, that's kind of also the reason why I wanted to talk about it. I would prefer the phrase adopted VTuber as opposed to secondhand. But in a way, I guess that kind of works because we do inherit stuff from whoever had the model previously. And I think that's something that we really need to talk about as a community. This is not like a call-out rant. I'm just saying, I think that we need to talk about it. Because when a person adopts a VTuber persona, and yeah, I do mean a play on words there, when they adopt a VTuber persona, their behavior with that persona becomes attached to that persona like Velcro. For good and for bad. And so I think that we really need to talk about as a community, not just what happens when somebody rebrands, okay? Because that's what happened with me. I had to be rehomed because
Introducing the most
the person rebranded.
Always included,
So,
always free.
hacking commercials.
Airbnb.
Hold on. Hacking commercials. We are going to go back to this one where I know I'm not going to get hacking interrupted. So when a person adopts a persona, and let's say they get that persona from somebody else, when person A rebrands, so then the person who adopts that persona, they are not just buying the assets, right? They are also buying the persona, the attitude, the vibe, the reputation. There we go. There's the big word I was looking for, the reputation. And so for good or bad, that reputation is gonna follow you when you adopt the VTuber, when you adopt the assets, right? When they get rehomed. And I really think that we need to talk about it. I'm not saying that you can't adopt a persona that someone else is rebranding from, but I think we need to talk about what happens to those people afterwards, because it was kind of a wheelchair push uphill for me when I decided to continue forward and continue this legacy, right? Because I was like, no, I'm not done. You know, I have things to do. I have a reason to exist, right? So I kind of had an uphill wheelchair push when it came to building my community, because there were a lot of things from what was previously in my past life. There were a lot of things where, you know, people had started following because of like the previous things, and I had to say, I'm different now. I'm the same, but I'm different. I'm going to be the person I really am. The person I really want to be, not how I was being, like what personality I was being given when I was in my past life, my life before this. And so as much as I have tried to basically say, no, like I don't do that kind of stuff, I don't engage in that kind of stuff, and like this is really what I'm about, and that's the reason I'm bringing it up. Is because not a lot of people know what happened. Because the transition was so quick, because my VTuber mama like zoomed on in there and was like, no, I'm gonna make sure Sakura has a good home and stuff. And so because the transition happened so fast, a lot of people, when they see me, they still think that I'm the same person who was doing all this stuff on social media and who was doing this and that and whatever. And I've had to say, no, I kept my name because it fits me. I kept my name because it fits me, and because, yes, I want people to find me, but I want people to get to know me all over again. I want people to understand that I feel like I'm more the person that I am supposed to be now than I was in my previous life before my adoption. And I am not meaning this to be like anything negative on anybody, okay? This is not me picking a kitsune fight with anybody, but I feel like we need to talk about the person who's the adopted kid in this case, and like what happens to them, you know? Because I don't think that we think about that enough. I think that when somebody in the community says, hey, I'm rebranding and I'm selling all my assets, like, I think that I'm not gonna make a wheelchair blanket statement, okay? I'm gonna say from my perspective, when I see posts like that, the majority of the responses I see to the post are more about the streamer who's rebranding. And I feel like there's not enough attention and there's not enough support for the person who's gonna be adopting that persona. Literally. And honestly, that's what I would like to see. That if you're gonna support the streamer in rebranding, please, for the love of fluffiness, please heckin' support the person who adopts the previous persona from the person who rebrands. Please. Because we are in a very foxed up situation. Because we end up getting adopted because we see some value in continuing to exist. But then we have this, like, we might be in this very difficult position of then saying, well, yeah, I know you remember these assets from this other person, and now I took over their legacy, and I took over what they're doing, and I want to make my own way legitimately, and that can be very difficult. And I struggled for my first couple months because I was like, are people just gonna think like I'm fake, you know? Or like I'm not the real Sakura? And I'm like, but it's so complicated. I don't even know if I'm making sense. But I struggled. And I'm glad that I ended up having as much support as I've gotten. But it was a struggle, and it still kind of is. Because there are some people who are like, hey, don't I know you from somewhere? Like, aren't you know, so-and-so? And I'm like, well, yes, in the fact that I am that persona now, but I'm not the person who used to be them. And I'm glad that I've been able to roll my own way and make my own way, you know, but it's been difficult, and I know that it's still going to be an uphill battle in a way, because this is not going to be the last time where I end up meeting somebody who's like, hey, aren't you so-and-so? And thinking that I'm still doing the stuff that was happening previously, and I'm like, no. And so I'm gonna probably be working against that for a while. And I hope that doesn't break anybody's like illusions, but I have been very, very open about that I was adopted, and that I have done my very best to move on, to roll on from what was previously done, to do what I think is right. And I will continue to do what I think is right. Because I understand that I potentially have a lot of power. I have a lot of potential influence, and so I intend to continue to do good things and positive things. And I hope that you all will continue to support me. And it like legitimately gives me a bit of a stomachache to talk about it, but I feel like I need to talk about it because it can be really hard to be the adopted VTuber and be like, well, now what? I got adopted, I got given a second chance, but will people give me a second chance? Will they give me support? Or are they only gonna support the original person and then just treat the person who adopted them like that they're not the same, or that they're just like an imitation, you know? From where I said I prefer the sweet, wise, earnest, and hardworking Sakura versus the previous version. Well, I'm glad, and I hope that more people feel that way, and I hope that this doesn't make people be like, you know, not fluffy around me anymore. I really hope that's not the case, but I think that it's important to talk about it. Are you fluffy kidding me? Okay. I mean, I was kind of like aware that they had maybe moved on to something else. Well, if that fits them, then that fits them. I just hope that they stick with it. yeah, it's kind of, I mean, I understand, like, finding yourself and finding what you're comfortable with, but at the same time, it's like, you need to stick with something at some point. Just because this medium allows you to, like, change and do whatever you want to do. I don't know. I have very different opinions about it because I feel like a lot of people tend to use rebrands as just something to get more interest in them. Well, that means a lot, Zombie. It really does. Really, really does. I don't think you have any idea what that means. But yeah, so I hope that's kind of like, I hope that wasn't too, like, awkward of a discussion topic. I'm pretty sure you weren't, like, expecting that topic. But I just felt like it might have been important to bring up. Just because I'm sure this is not the last time I'm gonna be asked, like, hey, are you? You know? And I'm gonna have to say, no. I'm different, but I'm the same. And I just hope that I can continue to do lots and lots and lots of good and fluffy things. I hope that I can continue to give people all that awesome energy. And I hope that I will still have everyone, like, supporting me and pushing me forward when I need it. I'm glad I can give people a reason to look forward to the weekends. I'm really glad. And honestly, this has made me look forward to the weekends too, so the feeling's mutual. Anyway, that's probably all I'm gonna say about that kind of unfluffy topic, but yeah, I honestly think, like, as a VTuber community, I think we need to take as good care of the mainstreamer as we do the person who adopts. That's just my 2 cents. Cause it can be really hard, but in this case, like, my VTuber mama and my lore mama, she was like, no, Sakura deserves a better life. Alright, time to spam the wax to fluff it all away. Yes, let's do it. Chat, spam the wax. Do it. Spam the wags in the chat. Yes, the power of fluffiness shall cleanse all the unfluffy. Yes. Let's hacking go. I need more fluff. Yay! More wags. More wagamuffins. More wags. More. But yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say about that. I think that's all that needs to be said, honestly. I think that's gonna about do it for that topic. But I just felt like I should talk about it, you know? just because it was something that came up recently, and it didn't necessarily make me feel good, even though I feel like I handled it in a good way. Like, it still didn't feel good to be having to deal with that, even though I know that it's just kind of part of the thing. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about it, and I just wanted to reassure you all that I'm gonna keep being me, and I'm gonna keep being the princess of fluffiness, and I'm gonna keep doing good things. And so, and I'm gonna encourage you that if anyone ever like comes to you and says, hey, like, don't you know that Sakura used to, do da. And like, if anyone comes up to you and say that, like, please let them know I'm like a different person, literally, okay? Yeah, I agree. I think Twitter is not really the place that people come together. I think it's just a place where they go to argue. And that's very sad. I mean, there are some parts of the community that are very supportive. Don't get me wrong. There are parts of the community that are very sweet and very kind. And so I try to add to that part of the community. But I think Twitter overall is just like kind of a place where people just go to argue and set garbage on fire. So, I do my best to just be fluffy and really only post things that I feel like are going to be useful or brighten someone's day or let you all know when I'm not having a good day, just to like let you all know, pretty much. And that's honestly why I have to take a break from Twitter every once in a while. Because sometimes the bluebird can get too aggressive and too toxic, and I'm just like, I can't deal. Yeah, but it's kind of inevitable. Like, the unfluffy will sometimes emerge. And in that case, it can just be... It can just be kind of a bummer. Because, especially when you have, like, a lot of positive reactions, and then you have that one or two that you're like, wow, okay, somebody's having a bad day. That's why I do my best to just keep being fluffy and keep bringing the fluffiness whenever I can, because it's easy to be unfluffy. It's easy to be unkind. And so, with what little energy I have, I always like to try to make things a little better. Thank you. I know a lot of people like to see, like, sometimes they like to see what I'm having for lunch or dinner, which I think is really cool. And I think it's really cool that people enjoy my taste tests and things. I think that's really amazing. I just kind of started doing taste tests as part of my debut in February, and then it just kind of stuck. So, how's the progress on the Sakura box? It's on the way. Yes, it's on the way. I have no idea when it's gonna get delivered, but the thing says, oh, it's on time. And it's due to be delivered on time. And I'm just like, okay, but when? You didn't say when. You just said it's due to be delivered on time. But it's on the way. It probably won't be here in time for this weekend, but definitely by the middle of next week it should be here. Someone blocked me months ago over some strange roleplay situation that I wasn't even participating in, and I was like, huh? I've not had the same situation happen, but I've realized I've been blocked by people, and I'm just like, what the fox did I do? I have not even spoken to you. Why did I get blocked? Hello? Whatever. But that's the kind of thing you can't think too much about either. It's if people want to heckin' block you, and you haven't even talked to them, that's so vague to it's on its way or it's on time. Yeah. Very vague. Yeah, that's something I've been hearing too, Elsa. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I have heard that some people are thinking about leaving Twitch too. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on that and migrating over to YouTube. I don't know if I will. I might try streaming on both platforms. I might, just to kind of see what it would be like. One VTuber was, well, you're gonna have to access the super chats to get a response. I'm guessing super chats are the same as the way Twitch does monetary gifts or whatever. Oh, oof. Twitch dropped the ball telling partners they will be getting less money during September. What the heck? I mean, they already get, Twitch already gets a lot of money from all their heckin' streamers. Especially, I mean, my goodness, if you're a hacking partner, you should be getting all that coin. It's a bit more per month, but the exposure doubles. That's true. I mean, because then you're on two platforms. But then I would have to figure out a way that I can read, chats from both ends. Though, is the main... That's the main concern I have, is how am I gonna have enough screens? I mean, I have my tablet, but I usually have to use that to see Twitch chat. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to set it up so that I can see Twitch chat and YouTube chat. Because I've also been hearing from people that some of the integration sucks. I'm not really sure what that's in reference to, but I've heard some people express concern over the chat and whether you can see chat from both. Streaming to both? Huh. I guess I will have to do research. Yeah. I mean, I can basically... Yeah, so it sounds like super chats do work as the same as, like, you know, a money gift, right? And basically you attach a message to that, and I think that's a super chat. It's a monetized chat. Yeah, I can see how that would be kind of maybe a turnoff to do that because, you know, people should be able to talk to you without, like, having to pay, but at the same time, I can understand for, like, a big streamer, though, I can understand, because if they have, like, thousands of messages a minute, like, think about that, if they have tens of thousands, or, like, you know, thousands of messages a minute, like, it could get really difficult to read all those, so in that case, I can understand the super chat. Recently added a feature like gift sub, just getting them is different. Just seems, the super chat is proprietarial, so yeah, super chat will get you a response more so than someone who can't afford it. Yeah. But at the same time though, I think like as streamers we can sometimes be limited in the ways that we can make the money and stuff, so who knows. The problem with switching over to YouTube is dealing with Google. If you encounter problems with them, you basically have to talk to a computer oh no. Well, I mean, even so, it might be worth just, like, giving it a try. Like, for a little while, and just seeing what it's like. And if I'm like, then I don't have to stick with it. But I've also been hearing, like, isn't it true that I might have to give up my, like, affiliate status to also stream on YouTube? I think I've been hearing that too, like, that once you have some kind of status, you can't really stream on both simultaneously. You have to stream on, like, Twitch for a couple of days and then only on YouTube. But I've heard someplace that, like, they won't allow you to stream on both, which seems kind of weird, since isn't that, like, Amazon Prime thing supposed to let you stream on both? Like, I'm confused. And I mean, yeah, I suppose you could look at super chats that way, like, oh, hey, look at me, I have a super chat, you should read my message because I'm special. I mean, I can see that, but at the same time, like, if you have a ton of people in your chat, that might be the only way that you can get noticed. And so, I don't know, it might be one of those necessary evil kind of things. I do know that YouTube has a 70-30 split in revenue. Wow, I would say that's more fair, for sure. And I think that is another reason that a lot of people have moved over to YouTube as well, because you technically have the option to get paid more. I think the only problem for me is that I'm gonna have to, like, figure out how that's gonna work, and also, like, if I just split up my stream time between both of those. I bought Slime Rancher too. Amazing! I have watched people play the first Slime Rancher, and all I know about is plorts. That's one of the biggest things I know, that you go around and collect slime poop, and you use it to upgrade things. Amazing. The only thing Twitch has that YouTube doesn't is sound alerts. But the Google bots are annoying to deal with when you're trying to get human help. Oh no. Well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad if you were dealing with a Saku robot. Hello, how can I help you? Did a video on some ordinary gamers, and for him to jump on it, the man has done his research. And I mean so quickly. Wow. Okay, that might be worth looking into then. Because in my opinion, if you're gonna have a lot of streamers use your hacking platform, the least you could do is give them some good compensation. Slime Rancher seems like a cozy game. It does. I have never actually played a game like Slime Rancher though, so I don't know how good I would be at it, but it might be fun to test out. And get blown up by slimes, and get run into by slimes, and feed them until they explode. Okay, I will check that when I'm done streaming. I will check that message. So it sounds like I have some research to do. And if I like what I read and I like what I find out, maybe we might test some stuff out on YouTube and see how it is. And see how a stream goes. I don't know, I'm also kind of worried that I might have a lot of people on there who are very unfluffy, because that's the other thing about YouTube. And not that it doesn't happen on Twitch, but I'm kind of afraid that if I were to go to YouTube that I would just suddenly have a lot of unfluffy people doing and saying stuff, but I do know YouTube Shorts will later be monetized. Interesting. Yeah, I watch some people who do YouTube Shorts and stuff. I don't know if I would ever do things like that, but who knows? Twitch encourages more interactivity with chat, but YouTube just wants views, with chat being kind of there. Yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed, and I've seen a couple of streamers on YouTube kind of exploit that and kind of do some wild things with the algorithm to be look, this is what you can do to get YouTube to send you more views, because they know how to hack the algorithm by simply doing certain behaviors and stuff. my goodness. Okay. The comf is setting in. And even affecting me. Good times. Great, I'm being affected by the comfiness of my own streams. But yeah, I'm probably gonna look into I'm probably gonna look into the YouTube stuff and see what I can find. See if it sounds good, and if it does, I might give it a try. Yeah, I would not be going right into playing the sequel if I tried. I would do the original to see if I can even get the hang of it, before moving on to the sequel. I watched a couple people play it a couple years ago, so I think that it definitely looks fun. It looks kind of cute and weird, so it might be up my alley. Well, not much you can do. You're gonna just have to try to, move on from that, and hopefully when it does get monetized, maybe you'll be able to make a little bit of monies. I wonder if the second one has fox slimes. That would be amazing. Kids of Slimes go! Squishy tails. I bet if they wagged, they get slime everywhere. The Knuckle Slimes. I remember seeing those. I think those are in the first game. Yeah. I love Slime Rancher. It's so cute and wholesome game. It's by far one of my favorite games of all time. Oh my goodness. That must be a really good game then. I hope it has controller support. I think it does. From what I remember from when I did my research, I think it does have controller support. So, if I'm remembering correctly, then that might be one I can play. Because I kind of have to be picky about my games, and they have to have either controller support or I have to be able to do them with mouse. Exclusively, because trying to do anything with the keyboard is a little bit difficult since I don't have the full use of both of my hands. It's more or less me failing to catch legendary Pokemon. My pain gave people enjoyment. I guess it's reward enough. Oh no. But yeah, I might look into Slime Rancher. I might start playing it once I've completed a couple of the other games that I've started. I might give that one a try, and I might give Unravel a try. I might. But I do know I'm gonna have to do some controller configurations for it. Oh, Slime Rancher has a demo. Oh, okay, cool. Please excuse me for a minute while I go over and at least try to download the demo. No, Sakura spelled correctly. Oh my goodness. Okay, this looks like cute and weird. Okay, download demo. There we are. I said download hacking demo, please. Oh my goodness. Cotton candy, sparkling water. I gave it a B for the taste barely registering. So what you're telling me is it's overpriced sugar water. Kind of like all soda. So I have the demo. I suppose I could try out the demo for a little bit. At least to see if my controller is even gonna register in the demo. I suppose we could do that, and then I could change the category to games and demos.